And in the end is the grim story of Jack, an everyday guy who is forced into near poverty after the company for which he has worked for decades collapses. He moves to a gang-ridden neighborhood, and it is here that he devises a deadly scheme of revenge and carries it out to a startling conclusion. Here is a video trailer highlighting some of the scenes to be found in And in the End, and also insights into the prominent characters in the story. My next video will be the first chapter, which will quickly be followed by subsequent chapters posted on YouTube, all which lead to a breathtaking conclusion. Thanks for listening.
Jack. Jack is constantly torn between his deep desire for revenge and his Christian faith. He loses his lifelong job and is forced to move to a violent, gang-ridden neighborhood. That is when his cravings for vengeance begin to consume him. He is drawn into the commission of a grisly task in order to protect his downstairs neighbor, Mrs. Murray. Character insights. Jack. Jack is constantly torn between his deep desire for revenge and his Christian faith. He loses his lifelong job and is forced to move to a violent, gang-ridden neighborhood. That is when his cravings for vengeance begin to consume him. He is drawn into the commission of a grisly task in order to protect his downstairs neighbor, Mrs. Murray. The experience causes him to become increasingly emboldened and he sets out to right other wrongs with morbid deposition. He seeks to justify his sordid acts but can never really achieve inner satisfaction. As hard as he tries, he finds himself unable to repent so as to escape the demons of guilt and revenge. Finally, he devises a plan to avenge the wrong which initially beset him. Unfortunately for Jack, the plan contains a fatal flaw. Petey. Petey has fallen on hard times. He too has been forced to live in the same run-down neighborhood and is plagued by gang violence. He becomes friendly with Jack and is unwittingly drawn into Jack's schemes. He always seems reluctant to participate but then again always succumbs. Larry. Larry is a rough on the edges, Vietnam vet and Petey's friend. He owns and operates Larry's Fish and Hole, a small rural fish farm. He suffers from a severe case of PTSD and is always on the edge of sanity. He too is drawn into Jack's schemes but not so reluctantly. As a matter of fact, he is more than eager and continually attempts to prod Jack into action. Mrs. Murray. She is an old lady who lives in the apartment below. She becomes involved in a terrifying event and seeks help from him. By helping her, he starts down a path to murder, desecration and demise. Hal. He is Jack's friend who lives in the neighborhood. He frequently sits and talks with Jack and Petey. Although uneducated, he has the good sense to not get too deeply involved with Jack's scheming. Sandman. He is the leader of the Firemen, which is a local youth gang. The gang frequently extorted all the residents of the apartments in the area. He is known for his savage ways and is no one to be fooled with. DS. This is a nickname for Deus of Spades. He is also a gang member and equally as sinister as Sandman. When Sandman disappears, he takes over the gang's leadership. Charlie. Charlie owns and operates the Lunchbox, which is a dilapidated eatery down the street from Jack. He is preyed upon by the firemen on a daily basis but can do nothing to resist. He is constantly angry but powerless. DFN. His real name is Clyde and he is a gang member. He has been dubbed dumb fucking nigger by DS. He hates DS not only for the moniker but for even more serious reasons. He teams up with Jack for his final scheme.